Hey everybody! Welcome to yet another Comics Cast Let It Out on this beautiful Sunday. And had a little bit of drama this morning with some thunderstorms that were rolling through Virginia. And I'm sure that Rick had he didn't believe me, but
Excuses.
Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia. You know, we had
That doesn't even exist, Gerald. Virginia isn't even a city.
Virginia doesn't exist, I guess. Yeah, that's you know, for those of you who don't live in Virginia, we don't live here. It's not.
That's like Gotham City. Virginia is just like Gotham City. It doesn't exist.
That's right. And I'm Batman.
Oh.
Anyway, I want to welcome everybody to yet another episode of Comics Cast Let It Out. And we already got somebody here who's saying yippee. So is it Alabayo? I don't know how to pronounce your name, but thank you so much for coming and seeing us today.
I think it's Alabayo.
Okay, so Rick is our official translator. He can read all the names here. So thank you so much for dropping in, and especially because of the time change that we had. So I was worried that maybe people would not know that it's 1 o'clock. We lost. We're back to standard time instead of daylight savings time. So that being said, I welcome everybody here. And before we get to our guest, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Indie Comics Cast on YouTube. Rick, can you pull up that page for us?
About what? Yeah. Hi, I'm Rick.
I know it's at your fingertips, Rick. So there you go. Here we go. So
there we go.
This is Indie Comics Cast on YouTube. And you can just see here a lot of our, not all, but the majority of our past videos with our guests from both Let It Out and the Artist Roundtable are featured here on YouTube. And we would love for you to subscribe. And
oh shit! I'll do that right now. So, there we go.
Rick is doing a tutorial of how you can subscribe.
It was totally a tutorial. I didn't forget.
Yes, he was because Rick is a professional. So anyway, that is my awesome co-host Rick, demonstrating his great internet aptitude, showing us how to get to Indie Comics Cast on YouTube and how you can subscribe and find more of our great content, see our guests, past guests, and both the Let It Out.
Me.
Yes, exactly. So check that out. And just so to make it even easier for you, at the bottom, you can use the short URL code that is courtesy of Rick. He did that for you, so you don't have to type that in. Or you can just go to YouTube and type Indie Comics Cast and find us there. So go ahead and close that, and I want to introduce our guest. So we have the fantastic, the awesome Mr. David Whalen. How you doing?
Hey guys. Well, thanks again for having me on. I was hoping the first time I was on, I would make a good impression. You had me on like a year later. It's perfect.
Well, you know, it's not even been a year, but it feels like it's been a year. And you know, we did the pre-show, and I just feel like, oh my gosh! I mean, not only has it not quite been a year, it's been a little bit of time, but it just seems like you've been busy in this time period. You know, you've put out a lot of things since then. And, you know, before I give the mic over to you to tell us a little bit about your, you know, what you've been doing, who you are, and things like that, I want people to look at the scrolling ticker at the bottom. I keep on getting this is mirrored, so I need to go right to left, left to right. I don't know. But you can see how you can.
How long have you done this?
Not long enough, obviously. Not long enough. This is how you can get in contact with David. Check out his correcthandedcomics.com, and we'll get to that. His Facebook page, his Twitter, his Instagram. There's all the flavors of ways you can get in touch with him to see his great artwork and all of his cool IPs and his original characters. So go check that out. And that being said, welcome my returning co-host, Rick.
Other side.
Yeah.
Other side.
All side. So let's dive right in. I'm going to hand the mic over to you, David. And we're going to show a little bit of your artwork and just tell us a little bit of who you are, where you've been, what you've been doing since the last show that you were here. And the floor is yours.
Yeah, I'm David Whalen. I'm from Correct Handed Comics. I created Correct Handed Comics. And we put out graphic novels, one-shots, ongoing series, 100-plus page graphic novels, mini-series. I am lucky enough to, from time to time, be able to work with great other creators, some colorists, some writers, stuff like that. But for the most part, I've been a one-man band creating different kinds of stories, different genres. We have our ongoing series, The Offspring, which had issue 13 come out at the end of September. And that was kind of like the end of season 1, the climax of season 1. Season 2, which will start with number 14, which is the cover you're looking at right now, is going to start in January. I actually already have 7 pages done. My colorist, who is jumping on board, who colored that cover, Chris McCauley, who is a colorist who's worked for Boom Studios and Marvel and DC and has done some work for Disney on The Mandalorian.
Wow.
Is starting on colors for this issue, number 14. And what he's done on top of my ink so far is amazing. I can't wait for people to see it. We have our one-shot series coming out, and just last week, our second one-shot called I Won't Stop came out. It's a 24-page one-shot, a contained story with a lot of other stuff in there also, so the story can go in different directions also. So I try to open up those one-shots to be able to introduce a character, have a great story with them, but also give people a little bit more information so that hopefully if the character, the story becomes popular, I can continue the story with that character. So I Won't Stop just came out last month. Our first one-shot came out, I think it was January of this year. I can't believe it was that long ago, called Shady Lady. And it's a noir thriller about a woman, no powers, no superpowers or anything like that. It's along the same lines of like a Alfred Hitchcock Presents or a Twilight Zone type story. And she is every woman from New York City who is going around New York City dealing with her own problems, but also interjecting herself into some of the social issues that we see happening here in 2001. The third one shot we have coming up called Aliens. Aliens Do Our Homework. I'm actually 4 pages into it, and I hope to get it out before Thanksgiving. I actually have.
Wow.
This is one of the pages right here. One of the pages.
Let me isolate you. Hold on 1 second. Go ahead and show that again. Here we go.
This is part of the page right here.
Oh gosh.
Or Will Aliens Do Our Homework? That's the issue, page 1. And I'm in probably 7 pages penciled and 2 or 3 pages inked into it, and it's come out exactly like I want it to come out. It's a story about a teacher who has a class in her classroom, and aliens attack, and what that teacher has to do and what the students have to do to be able to get to a safe place. And it's a contained story, but it could also go in a million different places if the story becomes popular and people want to see more of it. So I'm excited to get that one out also. We also have our 100-plus page graphic novel called The Loved Ones. It's been out for about a year, and it's selling pretty good. People are really getting into it and liking it. It is my twist, written by Brian Menard from Dojo Kun Comics. If you haven't seen him, you can find him on Facebook. And it is kind of our homage to classic movie monsters. So it is the children of movie monsters who are kidnapped by a Van Helsing type character and raised by this Van Helsing type character to kind of play on that nurture versus nature thing. They're monsters, but they're raised by someone who hates monsters. And the story came out amazingly. And again, it's got a great book into the story, but also a great ending to where we could take it other places if we want to. And then lastly, our 4-issue miniseries called Evolution Utero, which is my twist on the idea that someone was born to be a hero. You hear it all the time in comic books or movies. They were born to be a hero. And this is, what if the hero isn't born yet, and the mom who was impregnated with that soon-to-be hero is the biggest jerk in the world?
Oh my gosh.
And how the superpowered fetus inside of her starts to change her outlook on life. It's really a story about how parenthood changes you, hopefully for the better, hopefully in a positive way. But that 4-issue miniseries has been out and doing great. It's in trade, and it also has the 4 individual issues that if you collect all 4 issues, it makes one big giant poster.
Oh gosh, man, that's quite the introduction here. You kind of beat us to the punch, because I kind of want to show just this evolution.
We had a plan. And
it just got thrown out the window.
And it just got boom.
No, because
we're basically done. We're basically done with the interview now.
Hi guys, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, let's get to the drawing. No, I just wanted to, I wanted to I talked to Rick. I said, hey, Rick, let's show like this whole progression of how David had done all this stuff. And you basically, you have your elevator speech down, like everything. But I wanted to show the artwork to go along with with just what you were talking about. But, we had you on the show. You talked, we did drawings of the Offspring, and, that's what is here. And I just want to, I'm showing your webpage right now, and I want people that are watching to check this out. So, we have the Offspring, which by far is your baby and has the most issues. And then we also have, you talked about the Evolution Utero, which I think the premise of that is just totally cool. It's a woman who's pregnant and, who's pregnant with a superhero. And that's something you just never think about. It's that story angle is just crazy. And
I was about to say, that sounds like my mom. She's a real jerk as well.
Oh, she was, yeah, because Rick was a superhero himself. She was impregnated with Rick, and Rick is, Rick's like going, what do you mean? I'm awesome. I'm a superhero. This is my story. But anyway, we were going here. We talked about the loved ones. You talked about Shady Lady, and of course now we're at this current one shot, and we got a little bit of a preview of that new one shot that's coming out. Which is a first. I didn't even know about that. We didn't talk about that during the pre-show. So that was really, really cool that you mentioned that. So, so we're going to plug I Won't Stop. But I also want to say that your idea about doing these little one-shots to see how they work is really great, because I think that just from our other guests that we've had here on Let It Out, is that they're pursuing, majority of them are pursuing the crowdfunding aspect. They're doing that, and you're not doing that. You're self-publishing everything. You're promoting it yourself. And not only that, you're prolific. I mean, my gosh, look how much content you've done since the Offspring, since we last talked. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that? Rick, I'm gonna give you back control of the if you can show that PDF, we'll just show pictures from the Offspring, some of the sequentials from that. But I want you to talk a little bit about why you decided to do the non-crowdfunding route, why you're doing it the way that you're doing it.
Yeah, crowdfunding is a good step. I think that getting your book on more eyes is always better than less eyes. And I would say probably by next year, I'm probably going to start doing crowdfunding, not because I need it, but just because I want to be able to get more eyes on the book. But for the most part, like I said, I've been very lucky to work with some great colorists and great artists who want to really work on their craft also. But for the most part, I'm a one-man band. So it was more important to me to get out content, right? To get out different kinds of content, to be able to say that this is what I create, this is what I do, these are the kind of stories that I tell. Before I was worried about saying, give me your money. I think that the give me your money idea was, which is fine, but it's got, give me your money by buying the book and enjoying it. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. Yeah. So it's, the book is there, it's done, it's ready to go. It's not giving me your money in the hopes that I might finish the book. It's finished. It's done.
That's exactly it. You have creds. You have credibility. I mean, you've done the self-published route. So, and not only that, I'm going to tell you one of the downsides that I've learned about using crowdfunding, which would not fit your model, because your model is you just are banging out stuff. You're putting out stuff all the time. And I think crowdfunding, at least Kickstarter, won't allow you to do a new Kickstarter unless you deliver your original, whatever Kickstarter that you're running. So, you're putting out stuff. I mean, we just went over your resume, your portfolio of books. And I don't think if you use the crowdfunding route, you would be able to use that model, because you just showed us these pages for a new book. And let's say if I Won't Stop, which is what we're going to draw today and what we're promoting today, if you had that and it was crowdfunding right now, you can't put out your other book until that campaign is done and it's delivered, and that's a safety thing. I think that's a good thing that crowdfunding does, but that model doesn't always work. And, just for somebody who's as prolific as you are. So great kudos to you. I think as an independent creator, that speaks volumes of your professionalism. I mean, you're putting out stuff, you're working, you've delegated some responsibilities to colorists that are very, talented, and you're constantly drawing. So that's what you want to see. So Rick, we're gonna show some sequentials here. Talk about these things, because I just love your art style.
Yeah, so this is from issue 12 of The Offspring. And if you are familiar with The Offspring at all, it starts off with issue 1. It's very much in the realm of like supernatural kind of the TV show Supernatural or Buffy the Vampire Slayer, something like that has people at the heart of it, but there's supernatural stuff going on. The reason that I came up with this premise for The Offspring, these 3 characters who have had the worst lives they could possibly have. They have been abused physically, mentally, emotionally. They were taken away from their parents, it's probably a good thing they were taken away from their parents in that instance. But they grew up in this, it's essentially an orphanage, but I don't think they have orphanages anymore, so it's an alternative school. And they come to find out that they don't not only share a background as far as their family history, they share a mental connection, like a psychic connection with each other, and they start to realize that they're developing these superpowers.
Yeah,
and as they grow and change their powers, they connect more with each other with these powers, and we start to see in their 20s. We do flashbacks to show like them as kids, younger kids, but when we meet them in their 20s, they are in the lowest point of their lives, and they are in some level. And one of the characters doesn't even know if he wants to continue.
Yeah, that is just a great story, and I don't want to I don't want you to give away everything because we have somebody here, Saeed, I think. Rick pulled that up. We got people that are already interested in just us showing the stuff that you've done already. So let me pull up. You can, Saeed, if you look at the bottom, it says correcthandedcomics.com. Earlier, I showed David's website. You can go there and buy directly from him, and he has all the issues. Yes, all of his previous Offspring books. It's a great story.
And there's apparently talking dolphins. So so what's not to like?
I'm not going to draw a book if there's not talking dolphins.
Exactly.
Why would you? Why would you? Right.
Right. It's like, who cares about this supernatural Buffy the Vampire Slayer Trinity thing that you've come up with? It has talking dolphins, and that's all you need. But I was talking with Rick when beforehand, and I shared your art with him, and this is the one thing that we're looking at right here is that the colors. These are obviously really cool colors, but they just make it even more vibrant. But I like your really bold. It's just use the bold silhouettes that you create. Your inking is really good. Like you said, you're a one-man show. You're author, writer, inker, and it looks like maybe some of the early things you colored yourself, but now that you're delegating that coloring duties to other people. So
this is actually me. This is me.
Oh, this is you coloring it too?
Yeah, this is me. Issues 1 and 3 were different colorists who did a great job. Helped me to really set my tone for the book. But every other issue up until issue 14 is me.
Well, gosh, like I said, one-man show, making it happen here. So let's keep on scrolling down here because we talked. We're going to go a little bit, just finished up because it's not really, we know enough hints about The Offspring. I just want to, because this is definitely your baby. It's already been out there, and I just want to focus on the art. So I want people to kind of see the style. And of course, we've led up to I Won't Stop, which is what we're here to talk about today. And as before we get into our first live drawing, I just want you to just give a little bit of insight of what this one shot is about. Just a hint, because we're going to talk a little bit more about this while we're drawing, especially the 2 characters, so you can delve into that. So here we go. Just give us a brief overview of what I Won't Stop, what the comic is, and then we'll go into the live drawing.
So as an indie creator, I've tried to stay away from superheroes just because there's so many other superheroes, right? So I didn't want to do a superhero book unless I had a twist, had a concept that I thought was completely different from what I've ever read in 45 years of reading comic books. So with this, I wanted to take a more psychological twist on the feelings, the thoughts of a superhero who has been through such a traumatic event that it changes them completely, changes their outlook on life, changes their plan for what they wanted to do, and see how that breaks down that superhero over years and years and years. So the book is 24 pages, but it happens over a span of years.
Wow, and I think that's like testament to your writing abilities. You're gonna compress all that into a one shot. So I think that people, our audience, if you want to check this out, this one shot, it sounds like a really intriguing premise. and from the guy who says he doesn't want to do superhero, stories. So that if he has interest in doing a superhero story, then it must be really, really good, especially with whatever angle that he's going to approach this from. So that being said, let's move into our first live drawing challenge. And you know what? I think Rick has been pushing me to be super efficient. And I think that I didn't even have to be super efficient. David is just rocking the show, making sure that we move right along. So here we go. We're going to talk about our first live drawing challenge, which I also want to encourage people to draw along with us. If you like what you see and you want to draw with us, let us know in the chat that you are, and then of course post it to the art show, which is our little subgroup under Comics Cast. And let us know. Just let us know in the group chat that you're, or the comment area that you're doing it, and we'll be more than happy to feature it. Tell us what you think of David's creations, and let's go into live drawing number 1. So Rick is such a professional. He's showing our first character here, which is, I believe his name is Spiral, right?
Spiral, yep.
Okay, so let's go ahead and bring up the art cams. So I'm going to add this to the stream. And we're going to remove that. Okay, there we go. And there we go. All right, so I'm going to take a breather because Rick has been telling me that I just talk too much. I'm going to let Rick, I'm going to give interview duties to Rick as we get into this live drawing segment of it. Tell us a little bit about Spiral, and we're going to get to drawing it. And Rick is the timekeeper, and Rick, it is your show.
You got 20 minutes, guys.
20 minutes. Okay, let's draw Spiral.
So I'm being nice to Gerald. Gerald needs to keep up.
Exactly.
So Spiral, he got an interesting look, I must admit. Where did you get the idea of his look from? I can tell. I could probably take a good guess of it, but I'll let you do the talking.
He is a pretty traditional-looking superhero, as far as I'm concerned. There, maybe even certain superheroes from 20 years ago. I wanted that Superman. I wanted that Captain Marvel, Shazam type look.
Exactly, that was the guy.
But I wanted to be far enough away from that where it wasn't just a complete rip-off of.
Yeah, I mean, you caught that he has that really heroic look from both Superman and Shazam, the old school superheroes, but still, you keep him being himself. He reminds me a little of. Have you read the Invincible comic?
Yes.
He has that feel of looking like a old school superhero, but still be his own superhero, like the Invincible comics. You really nailed that. I really like that. And that's not easy.
Yeah, I wanted him to look. I wanted the reader to recognize him right away. To recognize him as, oh, I got it, superhero in the vein of Superman and Captain Marvel. I'm trying to remember the name of the Marvel Superman type character that was supposed to be like the one that was trapped in time for years and years and years. I can't remember his name right now.
Sentinel? No.
Was it Supreme?
Sentinel.
Oh, Sentinel. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. I was thinking of yeah.
Yeah, along that same line of, and his insignia is very much from my time as a graphic artist, as a fine artist. I wanted to do something that looked really cool and really different, and it's kind of like taking the folded paper idea as an art teacher, as an artist for many years. If you take a long strip of paper and you fold it, art teachers are familiar with this trick or this concept to be able to do a really cool picture, but in a really simple way. You can fold it into your name. You can just fold it to show depth and show shadows and things like that. And I wanted his insignia to kind of have that feel. So this idea of it kind of looping above and around itself was just from that years and years of being a teacher and being a student and knowing that trick of creating a portfolio piece was where I got the idea for his insignia.
Yeah, I thought that was really unique.
Joe Tolliver asks where my art cam is. My art cam got deleted by a thunderstorm, Joe. So
I knew you were going to go with that.
So I'm really sorry about that. I was really excited, but then a thunderstorm came and.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna go back to Gotham now in Virginia, so just leave me alone.
I do like the idea that you look that it goes over to becoming a part of your of the cape. That's a really nice touch. Is that was that a long thought out idea, or was that just, hey, let's do it like this and hope it works?
Just kind of organically through drawing him over and over and over again. I was like, oh, if I could make this insignia go through his cape or be a part of his cape, I think that'd look really cool. And I think it does. I think it did.
It does look good.
It's definitely cool. And you're talking about the graphic design element. How about you tell us a little bit I mean, if you can reveal it, tell us a little bit about his power set. Like what makes a spot, like his name actually is his power set based on his name, or what exactly? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, sort of, kind of. I wanted a name that kind of projected his storyline also. So if you read the story, you'll kind of notice that as it goes, it starts to get worse and worse for him, or he starts to get more and more kind of, I hesitate to use the word psychopathic about what it is his plan is.
Psychopathic.
Wow.
It also, like, he's completely blocked himself off of everything. I've got a kind of a Justice League or Avengers type characters that come in to kind of try to talk some sense into him, called the Guild of Equity. And those characters are very much those tropes of Batman, Superman, Green Lantern. I'm cheating and using blue pencil. I hope that's okay to cheat a little bit and use my blue pencil, so when I ink it,
there's no cheating in art.
Exactly,
David.
My non-repo blue here. So these characters, the Guild of Equity, they try to talk some sense into him, and it does not go well. And I wanted those characters in there to be able to show that there's more there. Does that make sense? Like there's more character, there's more story there than what I'm showing, but this is the story that really opens up into who Spiral is. And as he goes through his issues, he really starts to spiral. That's his name and his power. And when you see the major power that he uses at the end, you'll kind of see why his name is Spiral. I don't give too much away because it really does key into the story, the whole storyline.
I like that idea that his name is basically based on his mental mental evolution.
He starts off as very much the calm inside the storm, and then he becomes the storm.
Interesting. And you're gonna do all this in one issue? Well, I guess the whole thing about it is that's the beauty of the one shot, is that if it works and it resonates with your audience, then you are open to like doing more issues featuring him, right? I mean, that's the whole experiment.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, introducing the character and saying and being clear that there's more story there. And I've actually had some people who I really trust that give me their true thoughts on what the story is, saying what they really liked about it was there was clearly so much more there. But the story for the 24 pages that I needed, I had to really hone in on what this character was and what the storyline was for him. So there's definitely more to be able to tell with this character, more story to tell with this character. It's just a matter of getting it out there.
Yeah, I noticed that the cover of the issue. I mean, here you got David, who's kind of like been like anti-superhero. He doesn't want to tell a superhero story, but when he decides to tell a superhero story, he made sure that the superhero is not super invincible. I mean, this one shot has the superhero, and he looks beat up. He looks like he's been run through the ringer here. And so, like, aside from his, that we talked about a little bit of hinting about his power set, he's not like Superman, I guess, in terms of like he's like, to quote Batman from Batman versus Superman, he obviously bleeds, right? So this, without giving anything away here, I guess this is at his low point, I guess.
This is kind of a hint as to how it's gonna go for him, and the struggles that he is having as he struggles with this psychological issue that he's been dealing with, this bad thing that's happened to him, and how he deals with it. and realizes, and on some level realizes maybe that he's not as strong as he thinks he is. That he is more fragile, maybe not physically fragile, but gets so mentally fragile that it starts to affect him physically.
Wow, a fragile superhero. It's like
that's nice. That does remind me a little of the Sentinel, as you mentioned before.
Mm-hmm.
As I don't recall much about him, but I do believe he had mental issues as well. He was fighting someone called the Void.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I do see that you've taken a bit of ideas here and there, and then put your own twist to it. And I'm really interested in this one. What I'm more appreciative of is how you decided to decide to just make it a one shot, so you're not actually forcing it down people's throats that they're going to have to buy like 5 or 7 issues to get the whole story. It's like, hey, you can get this this one shot of it and still be greatly entertained by that as a finished product. Or if you like it that much, there may be more in the future for you.
Yeah, that's the model that I'm looking forward is to be able to introduce these characters, and if there's people who want to see more, it's clearly open for more storylines in the future. So it's one of the reasons why I wanted to get some of his other superhero, but like a Super Friends type of characters in there, to say that there's relationships here. There are things that are happening that aren't being shown because of just the way the storyline needed to go. But there's so much more story to be able to tell with his character, and that's one of the reasons why I like him. I mean, he's very much an iconic looking. Sorry to use that word. I probably shouldn't have. But
no, it's the perfect word, though. He is iconic looking. You know, as soon as you see him, what kind of superhero he's supposed to be, quote unquote, just by the looks. But then when you get to know him, you realize that, hey, okay, he might not be so iconic after all.
Yeah, there's issues there.
Yeah,
I wanted to really explore with this kind of character.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I took away from your last appearance on Let It Out, David, is that you definitely want to make your characters go through pain. I mean, you want to make sure that they experience turmoil and and I think that makes for an interesting story. Of course, it's the hero's journey, and being able so that way you can see that these heroes experience things just like us mere mortals, and here we have your first foray into superheroes, and yeah, he's not the Superman. He definitely has his own issues.
Oh yeah, I love putting my characters through the ringer. I love it.
There's 10 minutes to go, guys, and a reminder to everybody that's watching: feel free to draw along, and remember that if you got something to show, send it to us. Send it to us through the Comic Cats page, and we will show it off at the end of the show. And get David's critical eye on it, and say if he likes the artwork or he doesn't.
Everything's gonna be wonderful. Everything's gonna be beautiful. Can't wait to see it.
That sounds very Canadian of you, David.
He's not Canadian. He's from upstate New York, very close to Canada.
That must be why. But I see. So I actually interested in your process you're doing here. Is that the process you do with all your art, like a quick sketch and then directly inking?
Pretty much, yeah. My pencils are pretty loose. I just get the idea down, try to get the emotion in their faces, the emotion in their body language, and then just go straight to inking for the most part. I would say that the most parts that I do the most penciling on is for the backgrounds, to really make sure I've nailed those, to make those as realistic and creative as I possibly can. The people themselves, I try to stay loose with them. My style, I guess, it's not very realistic, but it's not cartoony. It's kind of somewhere in the middle, and I think that really helps with my storytelling, because I can go anywhere I want with it. It doesn't have to be a realistic type story, and you can kind of what's the phrase? suspend disbelief for a little bit, to be able to have these characters do things that normal people probably wouldn't be able to do. And I think my style really lends into that, because it's not uber realistic, but it's not super cartoony. So I'm somewhere in the middle.
Well, that's your style, and that's what I find to be so appealing, is that it's refreshing. It's like you said, it has a nice blend of a comic style, also with a little bit of, it has that nice fun comic vibe to it, but it's flexible enough that you can be a little playful with it, but still add that dynamic look to it, and that's what I really honed in on when I first saw your artwork. And I don't think it's distinct, and I like it. I mean, that, and you want to put your characters through the ringer. It's like everything that they go through is heartbreaking, and they definitely have their share of turmoil.
I mean, a good artist is an instant recognizable artist, after all, in my opinion.
True,
and you have that. You have a style that's easily recognizable, for sure. And speaking of loose styles, look at Gerald's here. His style is also recognizable.
Yeah,
I refuse to call him. I refuse to call him a good artist, because I don't want to brush his ego too much.
I call it. I think we coined at least I coined the term now. My style. I've embraced the messy, sketchy style, and I call it the wonky style. So my wonky style is what
the wonky dunk.
No, I did not call it the wonky dunk. That's something that Rick added that part to it.
Yeah.
I think that's something else, isn't
it? Maybe. I don't know if that's PG enough to talk about. No. But yeah, you do have that really recognizable style, and you draw incredible fast. I say that to almost all guests here, that you guys are incredible fast, but you are incredible fast as well. It's just I want to at one point have a Let It Out anniversary show or something, where we invite all the fastest artists and just see who can who's actually the fastest, just for the fun of it.
And I will not be on that show because I am too slow. I'll be with Rick and just commentating on terms of like how awesome and how fast.
What do you mean, Gerald? I mean, you are actually at the same speed as David are with your style.
No, he's inking already. He's
but you never ink. So instead you decide to add more details.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
Yeah, I guess it's inking is my phobia. But to me, it's definitely something that I would need to get better at. I need to be like David. I need to learn from David, the master.
Inking is very, very difficult. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do. A lot of people will, people who especially aren't in the industry, you just trace over it.
That's
not. It's so much more.
Insulting when you hear stuff like that.
And I'm also curious whether or not Gerald's style will work in inks. Don't get me wrong, Gerald. I'm not talking down on your style. It's just, will it work? I hope you know what I mean.
I do.
With my question, will it work with inks? Maybe in a special, if you ink it in a certain special way, like really faster ink lines, like messy ink lines as well. It will work.
Possibly, but I think I need to aspire more to the pro standard that David is kind of setting up, really clean, very bold strokes. I really I think that's just part of being a professional penciler, is that I just need to I need to evolve. But
Jorge Cortez here agrees that he also keeps trying to push you to ink.
Yeah, so I got all sorts of people that are pushing me to.
I know Victor Rufino have been poking you as well. I have been poking you. I bet Joe have been poking you.
He has.
Yeah.
But yeah,
can you poke David? Can you poke him as well, just once, so we can say that you're part of it?
You gotta start inking, man. You gotta start inking.
Yeah,
there you go. Jason also did it. Jason Flowers from previous shows.
Jason's on here there. Yeah.
So you've been poked a lot about inking, man.
Yeah, I've been poked quite a bit. So I know what Rick's thinking. How much time do we got, Rick? By the way, do we have?
We got 3 more minutes.
3 more minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Darken up some of this hair.
So what else can you tell us a little bit about, without giving away, everything? Because all
No,
people
give away everything, David.
No,
We'll buy the comic anyways.
You want to get people to buy the book, so you can't give it away.
The one thing also that I wanted to do was to really make sure that I had a recognizable villain, and we're going to get into that a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited for that one.
Fun thing for me is creating those villains that the hero is one thing, but the villain can oftentimes, I feel, make or break a story.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had villains who were very much just human beings gone wrong. But this next one is a little bit more into the crazy town type villain that I really loved growing up. The Green Goblin and Carnage and stuff like that are just crazy trained villains who they have motivations, but their motivations aren't always seeped in reality. So that's one of the things that I wanted to do with this villain that we're gonna be drawing here also.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point you said about villains, that villains don't, the truly bad villains or diabolical ones, they don't really think that they're villains, right? They think that they're actually in the right, and that's the psychopathic part of it, I guess. But I think that's one of the things that
Lex Luthor was never wrong.
It was, what was that?
Lex Luthor is not wrong.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Now they're going about it the wrong way, but the idea of humanity helping humanity.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. He wasn't wrong. It's a famous line by Willem Dafoe. Somebody asked him if he likes playing good guys or bad guys. He said, "It doesn't matter. Everybody thinks they're righteous."
There you go. That's so true. It's like the Joker in the Batman movies is like, he thought of himself as like equalizer. He never thought that he was in the wrong. And I think that's classic villains when they're set up against heroes, they really think that they're in the right, and that's one of the intriguing. I guess you have a well-written villain, and we're gonna get a preview of that well-written villain that's gonna be fighting Spiral. So here we go. Are we like
in 1 minute?
1 minute. All right. So this is the part that Rick really likes, because when he tells me that I have like 1 minute, then I start getting really frantic with my strokes, just trying to get
more
something
frantic,
done.
more frantic than usual.
Yeah.
I think I got it. I think I did it.
Yeah, you should have seen David when as soon as I said 4 minutes, he started to take a drink and sit back and relax, like, hey, I got this. And Yael started stressing even more.
Yeah. He probably started noticing me biting my lip and like, oh my gosh, I got to get all this stuff done.
10 seconds.
10
that
seconds.
was awesome. It's always very
5,
exciting for
4.
me to see people drawing my characters. It's awesome. That looks amazing.
Pencils down.
Oh, pencils down. All right. Let's isolate David's. I want to see this, because I this is the thing that I hate about when I do these shows, is that I can't see what wonderful work that's being done by my guests. Here we go. All right, so keep in mind, this is what, 20 minutes? 20 minutes, we have a fully inked piece. I mean, this is incredible. And I totally did not put that emblem on the side of his chest that you have on. Oh, get mine off the screen, Rick. Let's.
I'm switching.
Yeah. Let's look at this. This is.
Have a little pin on the side.
Yeah, I totally missed that. I totally didn't see that in the artwork. That
No, it's not in here.
It got ripped off, right? I guess.
Yeah.
It got ripped off. You're right. That's right. The reason is I'm not going to get that one.
Yeah, okay. We don't have to talk about that emblem and what it means and why it got ripped off, but here's my quick take on your character. And obviously I was kind of inspired by him being that Superman archetype, but that distinctive logo, man. I mean, when I first saw it, that reminds me of like Shazam, but it's not. I mean, I tried to capture that whole 3D folded wave thing that you were talking about, but I'm intrigued. I think people should definitely check out your stuff and see more about Spiral. And we're going to get to learn a little bit about what makes I guess what they say, behind every great hero, there's a great villain. So we're going to talk about that a little later on. But that's something that we're going to save for the third challenge. Right now, we come to the show where Rick gets all devious. He becomes
No, I'm always devious.
So, Rick, tell us a little bit about what Rick Challenge 2 is for today.
See, normally I have the challenge already figured out, but then when I heard about David Whalen's name of his company, Correct Handed Comics, I was like, okay, maybe I needed to change a little up. It's called Correct Handed Comics,
yes.
So it would be a mistake if I don't do something with that, right? So how about you all draw with your incorrect hand? And let's give this 5 minutes. Let's see if chat has a character they want us to draw.
Okay,
they want you to draw.
So chat, those of you who are
decide.
In our comments,
name a character.
Yeah, and don't use Freakazoid.
And please use Freakazoid.
No, and that's a little fun thing. Look, if you guys go to the Indie Comics Cast on YouTube, look for the most viewed videos, which are the ones that have Rick, because Rick is fabulous. He's a fabulous co-host.
Yeah, there's one where I tell Gerald to draw Freakazoid, and he freaks out.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Funny.
I had no idea who Freakazoid is, and that was a little fun challenge. So look for that, and you can kind of see how Gerald squirms. But apparently, I am the only nerd in the universe who does not know
who was that with. That was with Bittner and
I don't know, but
I can't remember. Anyways, chat, give us a character.
Yeah, and if not, we'll leave it up to Rick.
Okay, we got one here.
Oh, the Punisher. Oh, Saeed. Okay. Which is great, because I know who the Punisher is, unlike Freakazoid.
So incorrect-handed drawings. And I can look, I can see David's sweater already as well, so I know I did my job. I am
freaking out already, and it's not Freakazoid, but at least I feel a little better because I know who the Punisher is, and there's like so many variations of Punisher.
Is it the Punisher or the Pun-isher?
Ooh, try to be a little witty there with your words. All right, so man, this is tough. I should have practiced drawing with my left hand. But anyway,
let me just say, Gerald, you did this to yourself.
I did this? How did I do this?
You started speaking of it that this should be the challenge. You started the talk back in pre-show. Yeah.
I did not say draw with the left hand.
You made me notice the name of the correct-handed.
Oh, I said, yeah, you may have noticed. I didn't say like punish me by making that our challenge.
That's basically what you said by making me notice.
Okay. Anyway, let's get this. And
I love every time I put up a challenge that's a little tricky for artists. Look how focused they suddenly become, chat. Look.
Yeah.
Look at the focus on there. Look at the focus.
So Rick told me this statistic about we were talking about left-handed versus right-handed, and I was telling him about that, and he told me this interesting statistic about artists. And Rick, fill us in with this, because you're a fountain of trivial knowledge.
The statistics says that most artists, also both musicians and writers, actually are left-handed.
Yeah. So creatives in general are majority.
Because that's the creative part of your brain. So it sticks together. And then I'm looking at my right hand that I work with and just go, oh, well, that explains why I suck.
So yeah, that's a cool name that you came up with your. So David, I know that you mentioned it when you were here last time. Who was it? Is it your wife that gave you a hard time about being left-handed? And what was the genesis? Tell us the genesis of why you came up with that name.
Yeah, just in a basic life, I would constantly get. It was really when I worked as a server in restaurants for 25 years. Not wanting to grow up and wanting to be just continue doing that. And people would often say, "Oh, you're a lefty." I'd get it at least at least 3 or 4 times, in a shift. That you're left-handed. Oh, I see that you're left-handed. Oh, you people left-handed people are weird. Blah 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 blah. All that kind of stuff. So I started saying that it's I'm not left-handed. I'm correct-handed. So it's not right-handed and left-handed. It's left-handed and correct-handed. And I always get we're correct-handed. Blah blah blah. So when I was coming up with ideas for my name of my company, I just had a couple other ideas in mind. And when somewhere along the line that joke came up again, and it just stuck in my brain, and I just said, okay, I think that's it. I think it's correct-handed comics.
Oh man, I totally thought it was your wife that I was going to give her credit for it, but now I guess I totally botched that memory.
she's my everyday muse, so that's
right.
So she is responsible for everything I do, just in different ways.
But she's not left-handed though, right?
She is not left-handed.
I was about to say, David, your right-handed sketch is almost better than your left-handed, but I have to be nice to the guests. Nah.
Should I be?
I don't know why. I don't know why you were sweating so much, because that's actually also really good.
Well, here we go. Let's see.
Oh no, the inking is always the hardest with the incorrect hand.
You're gonna ink too?
I'm gonna ink it, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, no, I'm gonna go pencil. You're right. I should go pencil here.
No, if you want to ink, go for it.
I'm gonna turn them upside down. I think if I look at them upside down, it'll be easier.
Upside down.
Yeah, we had a I had a challenge last week as well, where I said you could either choose upside down challenge or draw with your left hand, right? And this insane artist Andrew, he just decided to do both at the same time. He was like, I'll just do both. I'm like, what?
Yeah, he didn't blink.
Without blinking. Yeah, I'll do it. He was all in for my challenge, and I loved that. And you doing the same, just going aboard with it all. It makes it funny to be devious.
Yeah, that's
mostly I want to be devious to shake up Yell a little, but
he definitely does that. But Punisher, I was a fan of the Punisher back in the 80s, because that's another thing that I always tell Rick, that I'm an old guy.
Yeah. So no, I tell you that you're an old guy.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay, he just plays it up. But I remember the Punisher when it was drawn by Mike Zeck. And I don't know if you guys.
Oh yeah, I actually got a few comics of that.
Yeah, in fact, I find myself I guess I've been so influenced by him as well that I do his kind of I try and mimic some of his dynamic covers, where his compositions where he does these extreme perspectives and very cool foreshortening and things like that. And it's interesting is now that I'm old, I can look at artists that
old
comics that archaic old, that I can look at other artists back in the 80s that old comic books and realize, man, I totally ripped them off. So I totally use their style. And of course I love Jim Lee when he did his Punisher War Journal. And so David, were you a Punisher fan? Did you like the Punisher? Did you read the Punisher?
I was very much aware of the Punisher, but I wouldn't say that I think I read War Journal and all the stuff that can, and really anything comic books, I would soak it up like a biscuit. So I was very much aware, but he wasn't the first person that I went to.
Mm-hmm.
But I do enjoy Punisher. I like his look is obviously very very recognizable, and people know right away who he is. And in the 90s, he had that big surge with all the rough and tumble characters. The ones that were just there to shoot bullets and things like that, which is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I wouldn't say that he was one of my first. Oh my gosh, one of my first ones to go to.
Well, I think that not that you should read Punisher or anything like that, but I think that his story, he's not a superhero. He actually fits into the kind of character that I think that you would design, because he's not a superhero. He's an everyday guy, and he has gone through his share of tragedy. I mean,
I wouldn't say everyday guy. He's a war veteran. I mean, not everybody has the skills that he does.
True. I guess let me rephrase that. he's not a superhero, and that's what I meant by him not being. He's like every guy in that respect, but he has experienced a tragedy, and loses his family to the mob, and I think that kind of fits into your kind of storytelling there, David, in terms of like not being that typical superhero story, and yet he's tussled with all sorts of superhero types.
Yeah.
I mean, he beat the Sentinel, for God's sake, who's supposed to be a Marvel Superman, as we spoke earlier.
Right. He did? I didn't know that. That was pretty
because
cool.
I read the comic. That's how I know it. That's how I know it, Gerald, because I read. Okay.
Oh,
you should try it. You should try that.
You're saying I don't read? Oh, there we go. This is what I can expect from Rick. He just totally beats up on me all the time. I don't know why I have him on the show. It's like I'm actually
because you like it, Gerald. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just like David's characters. I had to experience turmoil and struggle every Sunday when I have Rick on the show. So
I'm basically making you into a superhero.
Yeah, that's it.
David is basically done.
I think I did it.
How much time do we have?
I didn't even give you guys time. I was just gonna say stop at some point. So David is done. So stop.
What?
Yeah,
No.
pencils down.
Are you kidding me? You're joking, right?
Hey, whose rules is this? Gerald, pencils down.
You gotta give me a little bit more time. At least make it darker. You can hardly see this. Okay.
Gerald, okay. No, I can. Me and David can talk a little about the first Punisher movie. Then have you seen that?
Give me a few minutes and then.
Because Saeed from the Facebook is mentioned he liked the first TV movie. I'm guessing he might mean the Dolph Lundgren.
Yes, I actually like that. That was a good. I like the.
Well, Olabayo says that I'm not fair. Well, I never said I was going to be fair.
All right.
If it shakes off or if it shakes Gerald, I'll do it. Give Gerald time.
I got some sympathizers here. They know that you're
make Gerald great again.
Gerald was always great.
Oh, thanks, David. I can count on you to save me, whereas Rick will throw me to the wolves. But you know what?
Yeah, let's go back to the Lundgren movie. Did he in your mind portray a good Frank Castle? Because in my view, it was just a basic basic action movie with that title on it.
Well, you got to remember that movie came out in the mid '80s, so
that's true.
What we now use as the Marvel Cinematic Universe standard for superhero movies was different back then. And you're right. If he wasn't called the Punisher, and if he didn't have that the iconic skull on his chest, would we know that would it be any different from like a Stallone or a Schwarzenegger movie from the same time period? But you're right. I think that I never thought of it that way, but yeah, that's a perfectly good point. But you know what? I want, for the sake of it, I want to get to the good stuff with doing the villain. So I'm gonna do a pencils down, and you're just gonna have to bear with my really light lines. So here's my left-handed version of the Punisher.
Wow, this is the best you've ever done.
That's
wow. Yeah, that's amazing. That's your best art ever. Can I buy it?
Yeah, I'll send you the art and the bill in the mail, and it's going to be super cheap. And
Saeed, I wasn't talking bad about the movie at all. I was just giving my little critiques of it.
Oh, okay, all right, Saeed. But I thought it was good. I mean, there's been several movie versions of the Punisher. I think
Jorge here said that the only actor that portrayed the Punisher was John Bernthal. I semi-agree. I also like the one where the bad guy was John Travolta. I like the portrayal there, especially. He made a short comic. He made a short movie on YouTube where he actually portrayed the Punisher even better than he did in the movie.
I'm gonna have to check that out. But I'm looking at this art. You did not draw this with your right hand.
I did.
I saw it.
Very surprised at how it came out.
I thought Rick was just being sarcastic, but he was speaking truth here. Look at that.
Yeah.
You're
I
ambidextrous.
got the jawline right, but
Yeah.
I mean the line depth. I can see that you haven't trained that in your right arm, so it's obvious to see that it's a different arm, but it's really good.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? I would think that if you ink this, it would still be like the caliber of this art would just be there. You got the anatomy down. I mean, it was so hard just to get a jawline on my. I decided to cop out and just do a headshot. You did the whole body, and you put a gun in there. And what's special?
Gerald, you always cop out and do headshots.
Oh yeah. Here we go. But hey, this is what you can expect from Mr. Whalen and any of the books you want to get. I mean, that he has on his page. He did this with his non-correct hand.
Yeah, his incorrect hand.
Yeah. Incorrect hand. Yes.
You know what I want to see now, David? I actually wanted to see you ink that with your correct hand and see how it turns out.
You know what? You talked me into it. I will ink it and I will get it onto Comics Cast Facebook page.
You do that.
Oh, because that could be awesome to see.
Yeah, and we could say from correct-handed comics comes a incorrect Punisher that is super correct all around. It just
Olapayo, I am going easy on Gerald. You should see our PMs. I'm not. This is me going easy.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
This is the nice Rick. He can definitely go deeper in terms of cutting into Gerald. But I love this, David. This is awesome.
Yeah, this is really good.
For drawing with your incorrect hand, it's just incredible.
It's always surprising to people when they do it that it actually turns out better than they expect, which is why I love for telling people to do it, because even with I did it with Jason Fowler as well in my unsuccessful one-time show that will or will not return when I feel better feel better about it. But he also did. He was also surprised how better it was turned out than it looked.
I guess I'm the disappointment.
No,
I'm the one who didn't.
You removed it.
I did remove it. It's gone.
Let's go again.
Gone. I'm ready for live challenge number 3, because that's when we go into, for every great hero there has to be a great villain, and this is where we get. And you know what, Rick, we are bugging. I was like, we've gotten a lot of content. We've gotten through 2 challenges, and we just went over the 1 hour mark. You know, David, I think you talked to Rick about let's make the show more efficient. We'll get a lot of content, get a lot of
David just knows what to say. David is just point on. There's no. He's business. He's all business. All
on point. That's a good way of describing David's style.
I don't know how much time I'll have, so I try to get it out as fast as I possibly can.
Yes, and it's quality. I mean, when cons start up again, I can't wait till COVID is over. So when cons come up, I don't know if this is maybe your whole the way that you operate, but I mean, if you're putting out books really fast, you draw really fast, so like you would make a killing when cons come back up, because you could do like commissions, just like bang it out, just give me money, it's like that, just it would be perfect, but yeah, that's what our audience. This is what you can expect. And here, Rick has already pulled up our third drawing challenge subject, and it's the villain for Spiral. And his name, which I think is really really cool. It's like it fits in that whole Captain Boomerang, kind of like weird name. Can't be names, but obviously will have a meaning. His name is Professor Pinhead, and I just love it sounds like something that you would hear for a villain from like the golden age of comics. When you had villains that were had these kind of like fun names, and he obviously looks maniacal, and I love this composition, because you were talking about backgrounds. You have this dynamic a composition of the character, but you look at this excellent background. That's something that I am so bad at, and a lot of independent artists, even other artists that work for mainstream comics, is that they neglect the backgrounds. And look at the background in this. I mean, from a perspective point of view, detail point of view, it's just really good. I mean, you had all the scales, the foreshortening, and just I'm speechless.
I was about to ask if you had taken Robert Marzullo's perspective classes because it's really good. The perspective is
not
just
that
spot on.
specific classes, but I have a master's degree in arts and communication. Along with that,
ooh la la! Look at you.
I'm pretty fancy, Rick. I'm pretty fancy.
Yeah, fancy Whalen over there.
Oh yeah. Okay, Rick. Quick, cut on our guest.
Okay, guys in the chat. This is you got. I will count down to 10 seconds, and then I'll remove the reference for you guys. So you better take it in.
Okay. All right. This is a part of the
Well,
chat.
I need to show what you guys are working on after all.
That is true. I gotta like soak it in. Okay. All right. Take it off the screen, and let's go back to
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Oh gosh. Here we go.
And
all
here
right.
we go. Yeah.
So,
what about? Well, David, you know this character. So what do you need? 10 minutes.
10 minutes sounds good.
10 minutes. Okay.
Not gonna ask Gerald how much time he needs.
No, because we only have an hour left.
Yeah. Okay, all right, okay, here we go. Well, all right. So, David, as we start drawing with our chosen hands,
our actual hands.
Yes, our actual hands. And you know what? I think the next challenge, Rick is going to say, draw with your feet. And
that's a good idea, Gerald. Thank you.
No, I was just kidding. But anyway, let's delve into this drawing challenge number 3, which is Professor Pinhead. And since David is so good, I know he can draw and talk at the same time. So tell us a little bit about Professor Pinhead. What's his name?
I really want to know because I've been spoiled with you using great old school characters for your idea with bringing him to life.
Yeah, so I got a little bit of a preview of at least his design. So David, tell Rick and our audience what was the inspiration by his look, and then of course tell us about why he's such a great villain for the hero spiral.
So
your 10 minutes starts now.
All right,
I'm going to see if Rick can guess. So it's based off a very well-known cinematic duo. That's so it's them meshed together. And I'm trying to give a hint to be able to. If you look at it, you can kind of see the.
Well, my first idea was that I did see some Captain Cold over him at first, but when you say cinematic duo,
you're gonna stump. I hope you stumped Rick. He deserves it.
I think you just stumped me there because he's not been in any movies.
Mm-hmm. It's a very famous cinematic duo. Let's see. Give me another. I'll give you another.
Give him some hints. It'll be part of the game.
I wasn't what?
It's from a trilogy.
It's from a trilogy movie.
I love this. I like hearing Rick struggle. This is great.
It's from a trilogy, and he's. I'm gonna say probably from the 80s, maybe 90s.
Oh, you're
getting close. You're getting warmer. Getting warmer.
I mean,
in fact, famously 80s.
Famously 80s from.
Yeah,
it's a trilogy.
It was probably one of the best trilogies in the 80s, and maybe I can give him a.
Wait, no! Back to the Future.
Okay, go ahead.
I just looked at the face, and I saw, and yeah, I can totally see that.
It's Doc Brown's head with Marty McFly's body.
I'm just gonna put it up again now that people are hearing it.
I gotta see it so I can know.
Look, Marty McFly and Doc Brown for sure.
The pockets are inside out. His magic laced up shoes.
His life preserver, the life preserver vet.
That's just amazing. I should have seen that. The face is Doc Brown in a nutshell. That's really good.
Yeah, it's totally cool. Very cool. So
coming up with the villain, I wanted something that looked again familiar and iconic, but not that the people could kind of see. Oh, this guy's a nut job. Got it. So I was just kind of like I had so many different ideas for this bad guy, and at first I was like, oh, I'm just gonna make him a big bruiser, and just kind of have him go from there. And I was like, I don't know, I'd rather think I have a character that isn't a bruiser, that is clearly using their brains over brawn. So I was like trying to think of smart characters from cinema and comic, and from books and just everywhere. And one of the smartest characters I could think of was Doc Brown. So I well, how about I get him off, make him off of Doc Brown? And I was trying to think, this lab code is whatever. I'm like, well, I've got the other side of that, which is perfect. Marty, why don't I just mesh them together?
That's a really good idea, and the way you did it really makes a unique character, and it looks really good. I mean, I can also see some hints at that earthquake guy from the Invincible series.
All right, yeah, I could see that. That's purely accidental, but yeah.
But as soon as I saw it, my first thought was, okay, it has that Invincible hype, and all of your art has a little Invincible to it, in my opinion, in a good way. That it reminds. It's good that when you have something that reminds the viewer of something else. After all, and you have that with the Invincible a lot, and I really like that. Because Invincible is my all-time favorite comic book.
Yeah, if you haven't figured it out, that everything traces back to Invincible based on Rick.
Have you read Invincible, Gerald?
No, I haven't. But now that you talk,
that's your fault. That's your fault.
Yeah,
you need to read it.
Yeah, now that you talk so much about it, I have to. I gotta read it.
David got to agree that it's one of the best superhero comics.
It's a good superhero book.
So so what we're drawing, because I want to get more than 10 minutes.
So does this Doc Brown, Pinhead, does he have superpowers, or he's just a genius, insane genius?
That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, he's an insane genius. He's got his gun. I don't go into much detail on who, again, because I want people to know that there's a lot of there. But I wanted to really keep my focus on Spiral. So in the first two panels of him, you get his motivations, you get why he's doing what he's doing, and you get that he's a psychopath. So for Professor Pinhead, I really was going for that like you said, that the old school look, but giving him enough of a new school style that he wouldn't look completely out of place.
And I do like it. You completely nailed it. I mean, it looks, especially now that I know who it looks like, it's just even more spot on as a hero, as a character overall.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I was hoping that people were really starting to look at him, really starting to kind of delve into the style and the characters, and they would go, hey, wait a minute, this looks really familiar. I'm not really sure why.
That was my first thought, which brought Joel into telling me that I had to ask you that we had to talk about who you used for this.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you said he's like an evil genius, but is there any more details you can kind of like talk about, like why he's such a great villain in terms of his relationship to Spiral?
I think that he is, for this story, I think he's a great villain because he gets Spiral where he needs to go.
Oh, he's manipulating.
He's the guy that takes him to the next level of where Spiral is going in his storyline.
Oh, okay.
So he is one of those characters that I wanted to use to make sure that he was the perfect character to make sure Spiral got in his story where he needed to go. So there's so much, again, more to this character than I was able to get into the book. But I'm hoping that there's enough meat on those bones for people to realize, there's so much more to this character than what I was able to get into the pages of this book. So that's one of my goals, to always make sure that the characters look and feel like there's so much more to them.
And again, that's the important thing to do when you're working as you are with the one shots, potentially more. So where you have to like test the waters. That can be really tough to do. in my opinion. I mean, in that sense, it's easier to do a Kickstarter and just throw it out there.
Mm-hmm.
But with you have to test it, and you have to also like risk a lot because what if no one buys? What if no one buys it? It's easier to sell a Kickstarter, in my opinion, than do it in your one show at an Amazon. That's basically. I hope, is this your day job?
No.
Oh, okay.
I use that fancy master's degree to teach art, elementary art.
Oh yeah. I don't even need a master's to teach art. I just do it. I call myself good.
It saved you a lot of money, I bet.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I live in Denmark, so I don't have to pay for my education.
Wow.
What now, Whalen? Huh?
I got nothing now. You beat me.
I can get my masters for free. What now?
To Denmark. I think I'm
what you do? What you got?
Be nice to our guests, Rick.
I am.
It's okay.
I am nice to our guest. I'm just not nice to the country he lives in. No.
Oh wait, I live in the same country he lives in. So you're...
No. I mean, with the free education stuff.
Okay.
Other than that, American is cool.
Okay.
We've got some problems. We'll work it out.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll work it out.
But anyway, I need to ask you, Gerald, do you have a reference right now on your cell phone of Doc Brown?
No, I don't. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember him. What he looks like.
That face you're doing right now looks exactly like him.
Oh well, thank you.
In my opinion.
So I'm.
Let me see your cell phone.
It got damaged in the thunderstorm that I was telling you about. So.
Are you liar?
And I can't I cannot have my cell phone is my art cam, so I am not cheating.
What?
Yeah. So there, touche.
No. What is it on the side then that looks like something electronic with a screen?
What?
I saw.
Yeah, you're like pulling my leg now. So, but anyway, let's get back to like this character. You're not going to go into. You can't reveal too much of like his backstory and why he hates Spiral or why he beats him up, or like, you know, is there something that you can kind of like throw bone to our guests to kind of like get them, I mean our viewing audience, to get them to like entice them to check out I Won't Stop and Spiral?
Yeah, I think that both characters, Spiral and Professor Pinhead, they play off themselves so well, and the ending itself between Spiral and Professor Pinhead, I think, comes out of the blue, and I think that it's really going to be a great bookend for knowing where this character came from, to be able to see where this character goes, where Spiral goes, because of Professor Pinhead. I think, like I said, Professor Pinhead is the guy that's going to get him there, not always in a good way. Like it's going to be Professor Pinhead using Spiral to try to get to where Professor Pinhead wants to go, and then Spiral snaps.
So it sounds like maybe Professor Pinhead might get his head smushed like a pin into a pin if he pushes him too far. Well, I don't know. That's just my observation. Is like you said that
that was a really bad pun. I'm not even gonna lie.
I'm not as good as Rick when it comes to instant comedy.
that was a 0 out of 10.
Okay.
Wow.
There you go.
You know what? I'm gonna be kind. 2 out of 10.
No, I'm surprised you didn't give me. You didn't give me a negative number. I figured you would have done that.
I've been too negative lately.
Yeah, too negative. Okay.
Yeah.
Another little detail I put in for Professor Pinhead. If you look at his gun, where he plugs it in to be able to energize his gun, it's the flux capacitor.
Oh wow. Yeah, I can see that because I still have it here, but you guys can't.
Where is it on? Does he have a backpack, or what do you mean plug in? So I can add. I want to add the flux capacitor.
So it's like the ammo round where you.
I'm showing it on the screen again.
All right, let me see where it is. I want to see. Oh, can you zoom in? It's on the magazine of the.
That's what I was looking for.
Oh, there's the flux capacitor.
Yeah.
So does it need? Oh, this is where I'm gonna have to like turn in my nerd cred. How many gigawatts or gigawatts? How many gigawatts?
1.21 gigawatts.
Gigawatts. That's it is. We should have put that out to the audience so they can say, hey, audience, random trivia. How many gigawatts does it require to
I don't know
power
in my 45 years since I've seen Back to the Future, I don't know if I can say a bolt of lightning without saying it like Doc Brown. A bolt of lightning. Just like, I have to say a bolt like that every single time I say a bolt of lightning. I have to say it the exact same way.
Yeah.
You have to say it like that. You have to.
I want to say, Great Scott! Great Scott!
Okay, guys. I've given you a little more time, but let me give you. What do you need, David?
Nothing.
Oh, ask
nothing.
What you?
I got
Are you sure?
David.
Okay, let's
say you need 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes.
For Gerald's sake, let's say 30 more seconds.
30 more seconds. Ah.
Hey, Gerald, at least I gave you something. I could have stopped right here and now.
You know what? Wait till Christmas comes, because I'll remember you only gave me 30 seconds. You'll be lucky if you get like a lump of coal from me.
Oh, that sounds kinky. I don't know if we should talk about that on while live, Gerald. Jeez.
A lump of coal sounds kinky?
No. Those 30 seconds.
See, you had to go there. You had to go there.
But you're doing really good. So, you know what, David, you should just do a Professor Pinhead comic. How would you feel if that actually is how this one shot turns out? It ends up with the Professor Pinhead being so the most popular of them all. Would you consider suddenly make it all about him?
100%. I think there's so much there with him that even in the pages through a 24-page book, he stands out as enough character just with his physicality and the way he describes what it is he's doing. I would definitely do at least one shot with just him.
I could easily see a comedy like comic with him.
Yeah.
And so not like over the top comedy, right? But a funny one.
Mm-hmm.
Comic with him for sure.
I think it'd be when I'm drawing. I mean, back to my really bad pun. So I guess his head doesn't get shrunk to a pin.
Gerald. Pencils down, boys.
He just wants me to stop. All right, pencils down. Let's see. I want to see David's.
Let's first see
Gerald's. Get rid of mine. No. Let's look at our guests.
He always does this, David. He wants to draw, but he doesn't want to show it.
Oh my gosh!
This looks good. This looks really good. And again, I can only say the likeness. It's I love it.
Yeah, and what I like, when I look at this, it has such a. I know this is an '80s movie, but this has such a like '90s comic vibe to it too. I mean, Rick, it reminds me of like the Image. Like remember when Image Comics first released a lot of their stuff. This has such an Image vibe to it as well, and I mean that in the most positive way. I mean, I love '90s Image stuff.
Big guns.
Big guns and like big collars. Even though I know that that's supposed to be the life preserver that everybody in the 50s was talking about in terms of Marty McFly wearing that vest. I thought that was always funny. So, but yeah, this is great stuff. I just really enjoyed seeing your characters and getting it was an honor for me to do interpretations of them. But that's phenomenal. Oh, see, look at that. Rick and his sneaky camera.
I mean, look at that face. It does have Doc Brown look-alike all over it. It's really good.
Yeah, I had fun with it, and so the gun, aside being powered with this flux capacitor magazine, what does it shoot? Does it shoot out gigawatts of electricity?
No, it sends people back to the future.
It actually is. It's based off like a lightning technology. So a user trying to take those concepts and changing them and putting them in different ways. So it's he shoots his gun off all the time in the book, and it is I think it's done in a way that again makes a reference to the characters that they're making.
Very cool. I had such a good time drawing him. And is he kind of like a comedian too? Because I saw your it's like he's one of those characters. He looks like he's shouting, like, here I am, Spiral. And then he goes on some sort of diatribe and just like starts, doing witty, banter. Does he kind of like have like this comedic aspect to him? Does he like pontificate?
He thinks he's very funny. He
Okay.
thinks he's very funny.
He's like, well, Rick, that was your cue. That was the ball that he threw up for you to say, just like Gerald, he thinks he's funny.
Yeah, I saw it, but I just wanted. No, it wasn't worth it.
Oh, it wasn't worth it. Okay.
So just another once again, guys watching on and wants to read their comics, it's correcthandedcomics.com, and you can get the first comic we talked about, called The Offspring. All of them are for sale here.
Right.
There's 12 issues right now.
There are 13 issues right now. The 12th one is on the homepage, so I haven't put it on the actual Offspring page yet because it's bigger than life there on the homepage. So there.
Well, get on that there. Get on that, David. We need to. No.
Hey! Be nice to our guest. Be nice to our guest.
And then, as we talked about, quick of the Shady Lady and I Won't Stop one shots can also be bought here.
Right.
And I got to ask, is it only physical, or can you get them as digital?
Print and digital.
What?
Yeah, print and digital. You can do both.
That's good because we got people from all around the world here after all. So shipping might be expensive for some people. So if you just want it digital, the option is there as well, guys.
Yes.
So go support this amazing artist. I highly recommend it. I'm gonna spend all my money here this month. I can tell.
Save money for food, but yeah, if you want to buy a comic, that'd be great too.
Who needs food? Who needs food?
Right. Food is overrated, and Christmas is coming up, so these will make excellent stocking stuffers. And so Rick, you may get a comic to go along with a piece of coal that I'm sending to you. So. So check that out.
So are you saying David Whalen's artist comics is as good as a piece of coal? What the hell, Joe?
No.
Wow.
Oh.
That's not how you get your guests.
I see. 2 times a year, and this is how I'm treated.
Don't listen to that the Danish guy. We gotta stick together, America, man, America. That's right.
America.
He just made fun of our educational system. That we get her done.
I didn't make fun. I was just being honest with facts.
Okay, all right, whatever. But
I don't pay for my education. You do. That's a fact.
It's called taxes. You have a higher tax. That's how it goes. But we're not going to even go there. Let's focus on our guest, Mr. Whalen. And and Rick did a great summation showing his website. You can go and the ticker that I put at the bottom. You can get I Won't Stop. It's available at his website, which is correcthandedcomics.com, and it's also on Amazon.com. So, how many of my guests can say that their books are actually on Amazon? So that's a really cool little tidbit there for people. If you want to get it, you have no excuse.
You know what that means, guys? That means you don't have to wait like 5 months before you get the comic done. The comics you buy here and now on this side is done, and the only time it takes is the shipping time for you to get.
Yeah, that is so true about David's work. Is that you got to see how fast he is. You got to see the body of his work in terms of The Offspring, Utero, Evolution Utero, The Shady Lady, and I Won't Stop. I mean, these are things that he's constantly, and in the preview, which of the Alien, the school, what was the name of that?
Aliens Do My Homework.
Yes, and so you get to see that he is just a machine. He's putting out great content, great stories. As an independent creator, he is setting the bar in terms of like what you should expect in order to keep up with like the mainstream comics. Yeah, I really,
no pressure.
Yeah. But it's so true. I mean, the guy that you're just producing great stories, and it was an honor to have you.
I'm really happy with the stories I put out, and the art, and the characters, and the stories themselves. So I couldn't be happier with the way it's going, and I really appreciate you guys having me on too. Can I plug one more thing? I have one more thing. Is that all right?
Yeah, in fact, this is where we actually handed it up to you. See, awesome. I think he knows the show better than you do, Rick, because
I don't know the show. I just pop in and talk.
I don't even have to give any type of prompts to David, because this is the part of the show. It went way too fast, but it was all good content. Got to do some really cool live drawings. We got to see some really cool characters for this one shot. So go buy it. And this is the part of the show where we hand the mic over to our guest. You can do your final thought. So the mic is yours, David.
So on top of all, thank you, Neil. I appreciate that. On top of all of my comic books, I actually have a novel that I wrote also. And my wife makes fun of me because she says you're the only person to write their first novel in a dead genre. It's Western. So,
wow, I think your wife is very supportive, right?
Have you ever told her about Dark Tower?
Dark Tower, yeah, we've actually discussed. I've said there are plenty of westerns out there. She goes, I don't watch them. I'm like, oh, okay, okay, great.
So they
but
don't
she
count.
read my book and she loves it. So right, she tells me she loves it. So, but the book, the name of the book is The Last Ride to Tyburn. And you can get it on Amazon.com. There are links on it on my website, correcthandcomics.com. And I think it's a fun read. It's got a lot of traditional Western things in. So if you like shootouts and fun characters and horse races and riding horses and things like that. But I think it's also got some very contemporary, fun stuff in there. Also, a lot of twists and turns. I think a lot of good jokes that make me laugh anyway. And the ending has a really good twist ending that people won't see coming, and it's a real fun, really inspired by westerns of the past, I'm trying to think of any of them, any John Wayne western, any Jim Stewart western.
The Good, the Bad, the Ugly.
The Ugly, the Man with No Name series, all that stuff.
Directed David the Djell.
Yeah. Any Louis, if you've ever read Louis L'Amour, his books, his Western series, I've read a bunch of those. You can never read all of them. There's 100 of them.
Wow. Yeah.
They're in movie series like Have Gun Will Travel, with Paladin, and I'm trying to remember the Steve McQueen series. Which
John Wayne.
No, the Steve McQueen series. Wanted Dead or Alive. There we go. I got it out.
We didn't get all of that Western in Denmark. We only got the big names.
Yeah.
You only got John Wayne.
and Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood, Hang 'em High. Just really great. Westerns are an unappreciated genre. I mean, I think Quentin Tarantino, he went back and revisited the whole Western genre. Yeah. So I think that there's
what about
some...
if you got a console or PC that can play games, you should play Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, I think so too.
The greatest cowboy game ever. You will love it.
Wow. I'm going to check that out. My son does a lot of Fortnite, a lot of stuff like that. Not a lot.
Okay, show's over. Fortnite was mentioned. I'm leaving studio. Good night.
He's actually off of it now, so maybe I could talk him into that. I bet that's something we would enjoy.
Yeah,
I mean, it has been said by even cowboy Western enthusiasts that hates gaming that have tried it, that said, okay, this is really good, almost Cowboy Simulator.
Ooh, yeah, Cowboy Simulator. Yeah. Who would have thought? Who would have thought about doing that? Yeah, so if David's probably like me, he has probably likes video games and thinks they're really cool. The art direction is awesome, but I have video games that I want to play that are still wrapped in plastic that I just don't have time. I wish that I could just divulge that, and I wish that I had the body of work that David's done. At least he's it takes me a while to bang out one sketch. David's doing 2 pages a night, doing stuff. So I got to aspire to the greatness that is David Whalen. I'm going to say it again. Go check out I Won't Stop. There's the link at the bottom in the scroller. Thank you so much. It was an honor to have you on the show.
No, check the Offspring as well. Check everything.
Everything.
Check everything he got.
Everything for everybody.
Yeah, there's something for everybody, and it's not your typical superhero stuff. But before
I buy 2 times. Just to make sure. Just to make sure.
That's true. So
I appreciate that.
Before we get into the where we end the show and we want to talk about our charity partner, I just want to share a couple comments here. So where was okay? This is from Joe Tolliver, the co-creator of Comics Cast, commenting on my fabulous, super great jokes. He said, 1 out of 10 dad joke. I'm not even a dad, and I scored a 1 out of 10. That shows you that's hope. At least I didn't get a 0 out of 10.
No, he's giving you that one just out of friendship.
I think that is. I'm looking at the positive. This is a definitely glass.
You're looking at the positive, all right.
The glass has a drop in it. It's not even half full. It's just there's a drop, so there's hope for Gerald having.
There was talk of putting water in the glass.
Yeah, that was right. There was a raindrop that fell into that empty glass, and that's the positivity that I have to look forward to. And when I become a dad, I will have like supreme dad jokes. They're going to be 10 out of 10. But and of course, I want to have. I also want to have this comment here. That's for you, Rick. America. So Justin, thank you so much, America. Get her done. Yeah. So anyway, that's and we got somebody here.
My friend Heidi is thanking you for beating her in bad jokes, and I can agree. She makes bad jokes, but you beat her.
Okay, Heidi, we're gonna have some words. You're gonna have to tell me what Rick's kryptonite is, because I'm gonna have to like.
No. You won't use that against me.
Reach out to me. I want to know Rick's kryptonite, and
no,
that
you
way,
don't.
I'm gonna put him in his place. Rick, you're going down.
Even Heidi hasn't put me in my place yet, and she's tried it for almost 5 years.
All right. So on a serious note, I want to. This is where we get to the end of the show, and it's something that's a tradition now. We want to promote our charity partner. And Rick, do you have that site ready to go?
Of course not.
Of course not.
Why do you keep asking me? This is your stuff. I'm giving this to you.
Well, I thought that this is routine. You should definitely know how to do this right now.
I know how to do it, but I've never done it because you said you want to do it.
I did? Okay. This is Rick making excuses for his
No. I got everything else. I have
I'm giving him a hard time. That's all it is. But let's go to the serious note of this. And this is our charity partner. And yes, it is a big deal to me. It is a special part of the show that I cannot stress. Our charity partner is Golden Fight, and let me pull up the banner here. Oops, that's not the banner. See, you threw me for a loop, and I have.
Yeah, I'll do it for you.
Yeah. There. Oh, did you? Okay, there we go. Charity partner, Golden Fight. All right. So Golden Fight is a special organization to us, has special meaning to us. They're like what I like to call small enough and big enough. Small in the sense that they are not a super big organization. They're not a nationwide. They have a focus, which is basically like in my neck of the woods, or what Rip likes to call Gotham City. Does not exist in Virginia. It's the Mid-Atlantic area of the United States. So that's like Virginia, Maryland, DC, that this whole area. And what they do is they help families that have children that have illnesses like cancer. And that's the small part of it. They're focused in their approach. The big part of it is that they have big hearts. Their organization can boast that the money that they raise, 98% of it goes directly to the families, because when the families are dealing with focusing on healing their child, financial difficulties will happen, and that's where Golden Fight comes in. And they have huge hearts, and basically that 2 or 3% that they keep is only for administrative things. A lot of the leadership basically is volunteer. They want to make sure that the money they raise goes directly to these families who are impacted by these tragic illnesses. So if you have an opportunity, if you want to just check them out, see what they are, there's a slideshow here that's just showing some of the people that they've helped. Check out their website, Golden Fight. Goldenfight.com .org. Check them out. Worthy cause, super worthy. And if you have it, if it's in your means and you'd like to support a worthy charity, this is the one to do. So, final thought. All right. So, I want to thank David again for being on the show.
Yes, we want to.
Yeah, we want to, and we look forward to your third appearance because you are that good, and you've definitely shown a versatility and just being able to just come up with really good stories. I mean, I'm gonna call you like a quadruple threat. You know, you got like you can write, you can draw, you can ink, you can color. Heck, I mean, it's more than that. You know, you're promoting everything. You're not doing the crowdfunding route. You have your own company, and you're left-handed. I mean, there you go. That's all you got.
Yeah, all of the odds against him, and still he does so good.
It's a constant uphill battle.
Yeah.
Just using scissors is a struggle every day.
I know.
My right hand's gonna hurt tomorrow, by the way.
I know. I think the world.
You're welcome.
The world is conspiring against left-handed people. You know, every day. But yes. So this is the sad part of the show where we can say goodbye, and thank you so much again. Thank you, Rick. You were not as brutal as you usually are to me, so
I'll make sure that changes next time.
Yeah, so save that up for the next show. And thank you for
reminding me.
Thank you for being nice to our guest because he deserves it. He deserves it.
He deserves it. He deserves
to be nice, be treated nicely.
Next time, though, Rick, I've got hard skin. You can come at me. It's okay.
You say that now.
I might regret that. But
oh yeah,
I grew up with 6 brothers and sisters. I've got some.
I'll see you in episode 3 of
David Whalen part 3 on Comics Cast. Let it out. Stay tuned. All right, so keep on drawing. Follow Comics Cast on YouTube. It's Indie Comics Cast on YouTube. You know, we shared that earlier. Actually, let me go ahead and pull that up just one more thing. So check us out right there. Oh, there it is. So check out us. Oh, you already see us on Facebook. Go to YouTube, subscribe, help us get that subscription number up because we want more eyes on our guests because we want to promote our guests. We want to get independent comic creators out there so that they can be just as successful as the mainstream because there's so much good storytelling to
which means if you have any ideas for people you want to see, or you got a friend that's actually promoting fun Kickstarter and needs help with getting out there, bring them to us. We'll look at. No, I mean it. We'll look into it. We'll help if they already have a project going on. We'll be there to help, promoting them as best as we can.
Yeah, and that is our mission. Our mission is to help promote independent creators. So
we do not censor people. Everybody's allowed as long as they got a Kickstarter or comics going already.
That's true. That is so true. So definitely hit us up. Follow us. Facebook, YouTube. So you can see great talent like this guy. This guy, I don't know. This guy is he's eye candy.
Thanks for asking.
Okay. All right. You guys have a good Sunday. We'll catch you next weekend.
Thanks, guys, again.
Keep on drawing. See you later.